By specifying the target audience, it allows me to show all my representations and techniques. The magazine will not be successful if I try to cater everybody's needs, as it will not be appealing to everyone, because different market segments demand and prefer different things. Targeting an age group is important because the grammar which is used is so important when interacting with the audience. Loose slang will not be appealing to adults who are formal, for example, a classical music magazine. I believe I was successful in attracting my target audience of young adults aged 16 to 25. On my front cover I use colours which are not stereotypically boy or girl. However, I used them in such a way that it was effective because the sharp dark red is very fashionable and has a nice contrast against the yellow and black. I tried to stay away from the stereotypical blue or pink as it didn't relate to my genre. This colour scheme was used throughout my products as it carried for a brand identity which is very important. My images were strong and has clear mode of address. He is looking straight into the camera. The red colour was used effectively to give my magazine a second mode of address, as it connotes danger and warning, therefore the audience immediately read it, and obviously depends on the size of the typeface as well. The contents page was much the same, with a clear layout. The colour scheme is followed on from the front page. From my research, I found out my target audience do not like much writing. They prefer a structure which they are used to. I've added a background of black to give my contents page some depth and make it a bit more exciting. As the images are strong and coloured, typeface is also clear to read. My double page spread includes one large picture on the left hand side, carrying onto the right page. This image is strong as it is clear what he is doing, and even though he is not looking directly at you, he is looking towards the text, connoting that the reader should read the text. There is 3 main lines of the text which is accompanied by a drop cap and a few straplines to engage the reader. The typeface of black follows my colour scheme well. When researching, I found out my target audience rather images than large amount of text. I have filled the double page spread with a strong image with vibrant colours, although the relevant text is also there. The text itself was informal language to describe Alex's life story, as this will relate to my audience better due to their age, and hopefully this will connect the reader with Alex more effectively. Throughout my construction, I addressed the expectations and demands of my target audience through methods which are used throughout the magazine market. I found out many conventions from indie and rock magazines, and I tried to implement them in my project. This had to be done because there are conventions that attract my target audience. If the front cover is not appealing to the customer, will not pick my magazine up. This is why I use a strong image surrounded by bold colours to stand out from competitors. I found this from Clash magazine, which used this effectively. I designed my construction by hand drafts to experiment and conventions, and to get my perfect layout on Photoshop. The colour scheme I used for my magazine was preferred colours that my target audience demanded through my market research. Red, white and black were preferred, which I knew when adding yellow. This was because I wanted to break the convention of usual rock indie magazines such as NME. I wanted to stay away from blue as it throughout my media packets when targeting males. I didn't want my magazine to be a stereotypical magazine because this does not differentiate me from my competitors. The image on the front cover appeals to my target audience because as an airbrushed 21-year-old who is attractive and appealing to both genders, he is looking directly into the camera, which gives me a good mode of address. This engages the reader and works well with the contrast of the yellow. I also made sure all my images included trends that the target audience would appeal to. In conclusion, I have found out that attracting my target audience is one of the most important things to do when creating a music magazine. This is done in many ways, however listening to the demands through market research means I know exactly what they want. This should therefore make my magazine more realistic, competitive, and appeal to my target audience.